Hello, I'm Gordon White, and I'm here at the 2019 ADRBC Symposium. And with me is Glen Bell. And Glen, I understand you're the previous president of ADRBC and that you've been involved in instructing arbitration for...
Yeah, I teach the arbitration course, yeah.
And I understand that recently you've developed an online version of that training.
Yeah, I did, along with some other people who knew what they were doing. It was a bit of an experiment for me, but it was a very interesting project, and we are hoping to be able to extend access to the program to people who can't make it to Vancouver in order to attend the course in person. And this is the first time we've tried it, and we're hoping that it works.
So how did you have to, or what sort of adaptations did you undergo, or what kind of adaptations did the material undergo putting it online?
Well, we have to rely a lot more on written material for the online course because, of course, topics that I would usually lecture on, I'm not there to give the lecture, so we have to use written materials a lot more.
You decided to use written materials rather than videoing yourself?
Well, we did a combination.
Of the two?
We had some materials already prepared, but we felt that they weren't quite thorough enough, and so I also did explanatory lectures, which would be, take up less time and be more to the point than they would be if they were in person.
So there's a sort of symbiotic relationship between the written material and the video. I'm thinking.
I guess I should say I hope so.
You hope so, eh? You hope so, yeah. So, and how much feedback have you had on that?
I haven't had any yet.
You haven't had any yet.
The course just started at the end of May, or the beginning of May, and it lasts until middle of July. So I imagine we'll get feedback once the people get their exam marks back. That's when you people usually start complaining.
Yeah. So what else do you think viewers would like to know about that course or that training?
Well, golly, it's a comprehensive arbitration training course. Of course, it's an introductory course, but it's very thorough. It takes a course that would be provided ordinarily in three-day segments spread over several months, and concentrates it in a 9-week period.
So it's like 9 days into 9 weeks, right?
That's right, exactly,
right?
Yeah. And of course there's the usual examination after the end of each course, which I'll be marking myself.
Same exam?
Yeah, and at the end of it, if you pass, then you get the same accreditation that you would get as if you attended the course in person.
Would it be okay if I asked some questions about the training in general, like both the in-person delivery and the online delivery? So I'm wondering what your learning objectives are, or maybe the main one for someone taking the course. Like, what do you want to see them come out of the course with?
Well, I guess the most important thing is to be able to understand the arbitration process. It's a bit different from the litigation process, and also to be able to conduct a hearing and to write a reasoned decision. These are things that are quite foreign to most people, including to a few lawyers. And the program is designed with a hands-on approach. It allows a lot of practice to take place so that you get used to doing these things in an atmosphere that's not going to be threatening in any way, but which will allow you to make mistakes and to learn. I'm hoping to really stretch people's abilities.
So two of the things that you've emphasized are conducting the hearings and writing a reasoned decision. And you said that even lawyers are not necessarily skilled in those different areas, right? In those two areas,
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised, actually, sometimes the non-lawyers do very well. They grab it, they grasp the concepts and they're able to get their thoughts down in an orderly form. It's sometimes it's quite surprising.
It's like mediation, right? They're good lawyer mediators and good non-lawyer mediators.
I guess so, yes.
Yeah. Now, where do you see the practice of arbitration going, and maybe how preparation will need to shift over the next half decade? Or if maybe that's not a good question, I'm just assuming there might be some changes.
Well, no, I don't know. I mean, that's a big question. Hard to predict where it's going to go. I mean, it's been, the form of it has been much the same for many, many years now, so I don't imagine that will change too much. The topics will change, probably. The nature of the disputes will change. But the underlying principles, I think, are pretty much going to remain the same.
And so how have you been enjoying the, just to change topics, how have you been enjoying the symposium?
I really enjoy it. I always enjoy it. Years ago, now the symposium is 2 full days, right? When we first started off, the symposium was meant as a sort of half-day attraction in order to get people to show up to the annual general meeting. But then Elton got his hands on it, and now it's the biggest conference of its type. So it's really made a lot of progress in the last few years.
What would you like to say in closing remarks to listeners, viewers?
If you're interested in becoming an arbitrator, please look at the program that ADRBC has available. It's really the only one in British Columbia that I'm aware of that's for training arbitrators. And think about joining ADRBC.
So besides taking this training, what other advice would you give to someone who's considering an arbitration practice?
Don't quit your day job.
All right. Thank you for that sage advice. On that note, thank you for the interview and enjoy the rest of the conference.
You're very welcome. Thank you.